Yes, the Brooklyn Nets are finally winning. They have Kyrie Irving back. They had Ben Simmons, and now he's injured. He was playing great basketball. Maybe it's the coaching. Maybe it's just Kevin Durant telling him to get his ass in the game and play harder. But the New York Knicks, there are signs that this team is not going to win more than 37 games this year. They added Jalen Brunson, who, by the way, was a great add-on. He has been the best player on this Knicks team. Everybody else has been just garbage. Julius Randle's on one game, he's off another. And R.J. Barrett, where we expected him to take 2 steps forward, the Knicks decided not to trade him for Donovan Mitchell. Maybe they were wrong, because R.J. Barrett has not got better. He hasn't built his resume like we thought he was going to. This team has been absolutely horrid. And I can't sit and watch this game anymore, especially with my team. Reason why I can't watch the game, because we have stupid people like LeBron James opening his stupid mouth for no good reasons. I still think he's a fantastic player. I'm not going to take away how great he is. Going back to the New York Knicks, I can't watch basketball anymore. This team is not watchable. Tom Thibodeau needs to be fired. Rose needs to be fired. Worldwide Wes needs to be fired. This team needs to be rebuilt again. If I were the Knicks in the offseason, no matter how good RJ plays in the second half of the season, I'd trade him. I'd trade Julius Randle. I'd rebuild this team around Jalen Brunson, who's young. Grimes looks like he's good when he does play. He can pass, he could shoot. Maybe they play him more. Maybe they bring in an Atkinson, help rebuild these young players, try to figure out what's wrong with these young players and rebuild this team. Because Kenny Atkinson, we've seen do it with the Nets. Tom Thibodeau just is not the right guy for the job. I thought he was going to be. He's not. Basketball in New York, out of all the sports, this is the worst. Right now, New York sports is heading in a very good position. The Yankees and the Mets are good. The Islanders and the Rangers are good. The Jets, the Giants, and the Buffalo Bills are good. But guess what? The Brooklyn Nets, they are a 6 seed. They're no good. They're not winning.
They're still the Barclays Circus.
And the New York Knicks, we know they're not winning. Basketball, which is probably the most popular sport in New York. The Knicks sell out every single game, no matter win or lose. They're losing more than they're winning. Brooklyn Nets, they can't put 4 people in the seats, no matter how good they are. They have their players standing outside the stadium and selling tickets. The Knicks should just be sellers. Trade everything. Except Brunson. Mitchell Robinson is still worth keeping, even though he can't stay healthy. Grimes, I think they trade R.J. Barrett. I think they need to rebuild. This team is not winning. This team isn't good enough. And Brooklyn, they're going to make the playoffs because they have 3 stars, but they don't have any depth. They're not beating Boston. They're not beating Milwaukee or Cleveland or Atlanta. They're not beating any of those teams.
And this is assuming the Nets don't have any other incidents during the season, too.
Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers, too. They're playing good basketball, and one of their best players is hurt, and they're still winning. And then there's hockey. I'm not going to shoot down the New York Rangers because are they playing top-end hockey right now? They're not. But do I think that the Rangers are better than this? Yes, I do. Do I think the Rangers are going to make the playoffs? Yes, I do. I think they're too good of a team. They have too many offensive weapons, and their goaltender is a lot better than this. They're not this bad. They're 20-some-odd games into the season. There's a lot of hockey left. They're making the playoffs. Panarin needs to play better. Zibanejad needs to play better. Kreider needs to play better. Shesterkin needs to play better. Their defense needs to play better. There's nothing wrong with this team. This team is still a good team. I really think they let a lot of big pieces go in the offseason. It's hurt them. Losing Mott for nothing was a terrible move by Chris Drury. I didn't like that when I heard that. They lost pieces. I told Ranger fans, as good as Trocheck has been, and he's been good, losing 4 for 1, that doesn't help your team. You lost a lot of depth. Yes, they weren't a good face-off team. Didn't matter. They went to the Eastern Conference Championship.
And they still aren't.
They're better than this. And then there's the Islanders. The Islanders were playing good hockey. I don't know what's happened the last 2 games. Losing to Nashville again. I think Sorokin was better than he was in that game last night. And the defense is better than they were last night. But they cannot lose back-to-back games. Not against the Nashville Predators. They're a good team. They're not a great team. The Islanders are a good team. They're a good defensive team, a good goaltending team. They're scoring goals. They cannot lose against Nashville back-to-back games.
You wonder, too, because Shesterkin last year had this issue with Lane. They blew him out the first game 7-1, and then I think they won like 4-1 in the second game. Nashville for Sorokin might be just his kryptonite in the Western Conference, because if you take out those 2 games, like his numbers look insane. Those are rigging it right now.
I don't know what's going on for both New York teams, but I trust that the Islanders will figure it out, and I know the Rangers are better than this. They have 2 really good hockey teams, and both teams will make the playoffs. You heard it from me. The Rangers and the Islanders will make the playoffs this year.
The Rangers are definitely better than this. Back-to-back games games, they blew multiple goal leads, including a 3-goal lead to Edmonton last week.
They're not that bad. I don't think the Islanders losing 2 games, something we haven't seen the Islanders do in a while, I don't think they're this bad either. But the Devils are in first place still, and they're still winning, and the Islanders and Rangers are trailing. But good hockey is going to be coming very, very soon for the New York team. I'm not worried about it. It's basketball what I worry about. I've watched 5 New York Knicks games. I can't even watch. They're not even watchable anymore. I can't watch them anymore. I'm a Knicks fan, and I watched 5 minutes of it. I said, I'm done. They go down by 10 within 5 minutes. They don't play defense. Tom Thibodeau, who preaches D this and D that, nobody's playing defense. And they fall behind too quick, and then they play catch-up. And then when they catch up, then the team scores 20 more points to put them back behind again. I can't watch it anymore. It's non-watchable. And by the way, 3 years of Rose, if they don't win more than 37 games this year, you got to fire. You have to fire Rose. You have to fire Worldwide West. Again, we're going to go into this off-season with no GM, no president, no coach, no nothing. This is the New York Knicks, an organization that was built for winning in the 90s with Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy. I can't watch the Knicks anymore. It's horrible basketball. It's not watchable basketball. And the Brooklyn Nets, they're a clown show. Shout out to Ben Simmons for the games that he has been playing, and he's been playing hard, but now he's not healthy. But I don't think the Brooklyn Nets are any good either. United States Soccer is back, baby. The second youngest team in the tournament, and they are now in the Sweet 16 of the tournament. This is one of the youngest teams we've ever seen the United States produce in the tournament. And by the way, 4 years from now, it will be in America. The World Cup will be here in America. There will be games played in MetLife Stadium. This team will be a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and this will be the first United States team in history ranked in the top 10 in the world. And being that this is the first time it's in the United States in about 20 some odd years, maybe the United States wins the World Cup.
Even looking at this year, this is, I think, the first time in over 20 years that they didn't lose a single of the group play games. They had 2 draws and they had a win against Iran, too. And even that England game, they outplayed England, a much better team, with scoring chances, with quality shots on target, too. And in this game against Iran, too, they beat them 12-4 in that department, too. So they're getting a lot of scoring. Christian Pulisic, their best player, playing through a pelvic injury. You got to be very impressed with him.
Young player, too, plays for Chelsea.
A German-born player, I believe he is, plays for Chelsea, who's been a good Premier League team in the past. He's got a good future. They got Sargent. Weah looks very good as a striker, too. He's has a very good pass against England as well.
We have a Long Islander on that team, too.
They made to the final 16, the knockout stages, played against the Netherlands earlier today. Impressive to see what this young team could do. They're one of the youngest teams, like you were saying, and have a very bright future. Not a country that's known for soccer for sure, but they're on the up and up.
The United States had a great tournament. They got knocked off by a very good Netherlands team, and this is what happens to a young team. I believe this team is going to be a team to be reckoned with 4 years from now, being that it's going to be in the United States. But a fantastic, fantastic tournament for the United States team.
Absolutely. And the Netherlands losing that kind of game, that they've been a powerhouse for a while. The Final Four in 2014, they were a Elite 8 team in 2018, and they've been a soccer powerhouse. That's always been their best sport. So no shame in that. They played hard. A lot of great effort across. They great hustle, great young team.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as everybody waits for this every single week, Speedy!
Crunch time!
It's time for Crunch Time.
Read the time. Gotta see the pitch.
All right, we'll start Crunch Time with the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. Buy or sell. The Jets will hold Justin Jefferson under 100 receiving yards.
Absolutely buy it, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen it. Darius Slay did it for Philadelphia, and I expect this game to be another one of those games. I love DJ Reed. If DJ Reed's taking him, if Michael Carter's taking him, or if it's Saucy Sauce, I believe they will hold Justin Jefferson under 100 yards. Absolutely believe it.
I am going to sell that one, only because even though the Bills and the Patriots don't have better secondaries than the Jets, they still made it very tough on them, and Justin Jefferson was still making some tough catches in double teams, too. And I expect the Jets to do a lot of that, too. Now, they play a lot of man-to-man, but I do think Jefferson's going to win some tough battles. No, he's not going to go off for 150 or so like that, but I still think he gets over 100 because he is targeted a lot, over 10 targets a game on average. So I am going to sell that one. I think he still gets 100, but the Jets will make it tough on him. All right, buy or sell. Aaron Judge will get more than an 8-year, $330 million contract.
Absolutely buy it. I can't see that he doesn't. Right now, he had an opportunity to sign with the Yankees. They gave him an 8-year, $330 million contract. I think San Francisco is going to blow it out of the water, so I buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that one too. I think there's still going to be some level of bidding war. You might think it's only Yankees and Giants 50-50 for now, and yeah, that's probably still the probability of it, but don't believe that other teams are not going to force either of their hands to make the big markets overpay like that. So I am absolutely going to buy that one as well. All right, let's go to college football with USC losing now. Ohio State likely to make the playoffs. Buy or sell? We will see a Michigan-Ohio State matchup in the college football playoff.
I would love to see that in a championship game. That would be fantastic. And maybe Ohio State gets them this time. But it's been fantastic to watch Michigan. And Michigan loses their star running back. He's out for the season with the knee surgery. So that does hurt Michigan in the tournament, the Final Four tournament of the best college football team. So I doubt it because I don't trust Michigan. Half their offense is gone for the season. So I don't know if Michigan gets out of their round to go to the championship game.
Yeah, I'm going to sell that one too. Now, I know you have a lot of confidence with Ohio State potentially against Georgia, but I still think Georgia is still going to be a very tough defense. Ohio State have not been a trustworthy defense, especially in that secondary that did not look good against Michigan and has not looked good against teams like Penn State either. I think Michigan, even with their defense, might be able to grind out a win against TCU. I don't know if I trust Ohio State to do that, so I am going to sell that one. All right, buy or sell? A.J. Brown will have 100-plus yards and 5-plus catches against his former team.
Buy it. A.J. Brown knows his former team. He wants to stick it to them. They didn't want to sign him. They didn't want to give him that long-term deal. Philadelphia did, and now he's flying in Philly. Absolutely buy it.
I'm going to sell it. I mentioned I like Mike Vrabel to be able to know what to do against him. He's a great defensive mind. The Titans secondary, yeah, it's young, but I do think that Kevin Byard's one of the best safeties that could help bracket him. I usually give that edge to the coach. So in this case, I am going to sell that. One more interesting college football rumor. Deion Sanders looks like he's on the way potentially to be a Colorado head coach. Buy or sell? That will happen.
It's going to happen. He wants to go to a team that he can get recruits, and they have the money for recruits. Jackson does not have the money. They don't have any deep pockets. Colorado does. They will open up their pockets for him to recruit, and that's why he's going to Colorado. I absolutely buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that one too. They need a miracle. A lot of these Pac-12 teams do at this point. Colorado's been a good basketball school, but nowhere close to being a good football school. Not even consistent at any point. So, yeah, why not bring a name that'll bring up some flash in that and get some transfer portal guys? I will definitely buy that. All right, buy or sell? The Mets will end up with Justin Verlander now that they lost to Grom.
I buy it. They have to. They lose out on Verlander. Where are they going to go? They have Max Scherzer. Doesn't make sense. They need Verlander or they need Rodon. They need one or the other. I think Rodon will be too expensive. I think he's going to want a lot of money. He might get Jacob deGrom kind of money because of his youth and his left-handed power. He's a power pitcher, so I'm buying it.
I'm going to buy it. I don't necessarily want it. I want them to bid for Rodon, even if they do have to overpay for him a little bit, because I think he's a young, controllable pitcher. He's been healthy the last couple of years, but I do feel like with Max Scherzer being there, his former teammate in Detroit, he wants to make that kind of money. I think the Mets, that will be a move that they can cave into. So I don't want it to happen, but I feel like that's a very Steve Cohen thing to do. I will buy it. All right, last one. OBJ will sign with the New York Giants.
I want it to happen, but I'm going to sell it. They're not winning anything this year. He wants to win. It's either the Cowboys or the Bills. It makes a lot of sense to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is willing to pay him and extend him, so I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it too. This is a very Dallas move. They love the big name. Odell Beckham, still most popular players in the league. And again, he could definitely be a useful player in that team. Michael Gallup, who could be an outside receiver, more of a bigger body type. Mike McCarthy does a lot of 3 receiver sets. From a football standpoint, it makes sense for them too. So it makes the most sense for him to go to the Giants to be a number 1 receiver, but I do think Dallas will be the team that signed him. Buffalo, I agree with you. I think they're the 3rd team on the list, but I think Dallas will end up getting him. Unfortunately, I will sell it.